Good morning to all you folk. I'm happy to give a little devotional thought to you from God's holy word. And today I would like to have you turn with me to the book of Psalms, and we're going to look at chapter 16. And I'm going to look at verse 8. My wife's favorite verse is 11. But I like 8 and 9, and then when I jump over 10 to 11, it becomes something real. But here it goes. It starts off like this. I have set the Lord always before me. Now I'm telling you, folk, unless we start the day on our knees and a little time in this book, we do not have the Lord set before us, because everything else will take the place where God is supposed to be in charge. We need Him to lead and guide us throughout life. So it says, I have set the Lord before me. And then it goes on to say, because He is at my right hand, and I will not be moved. The devil wants to move us in directions that is not part of the plan God has for us. God says, I will guide you with my right hand. And He will, and that's awesome. And then it goes on to say in verse 10, therefore my heart is glad and my life rejoices. If you're not a glad person, happy person, on top of the world in positivity, maybe you ought to look at this verse in depth, because God says, I've got a plan and a will for your life. Just set me before you. Remember, I'm right here with you. And lastly, I will show you the direction in which you should be guided this day. Constantly be talking to God, and then you'll start rejoicing. Well, I was on a cruise one time with my wife, and my wife always wanted to go through the Panama Canal. So we started in New York. As we got on that ship and we made ourselves down the east coastline of the United States, and we go past Florida, get into the Gulf of Mexico. We're having a great time, because I don't know about you, just before a vacation, you're whipped because you've got so many things you want to get done and so on. But we're happy because we're going to be on this cruise. But as we were cruising around, it was going to be a long cruise. I don't know if it was 2 weeks, 10 days, whatever it was, as we went through the Panama Canal and came up to the west side of the coast of the United States. But during that long time, when my wife might be sunning herself or taking a nap, I'm usually out seeing people and talking to them and so on. But I would always do the laundry. So I'd go to the laundry place, and there would be ladies in there, and after a while, when I would do it every other day or what it was, I'd see these ladies and they would be chatting. To them, it would be like sitting out and looking at the ocean. That was their chat room. And I'd go in there and chat with them and so on. And after a while, I found out that a rabbi on ship happened to be, his wife was there in that room. And she found out I was a Sabbath keeper, so she said, why don't you come Friday night and take part in our worship service. And, these cruises have thousands of people on it. And it was in a big place, so I said, yes, I will be there. So my wife and I came, and we had another couple with us from Maine. And so we all got together and sat in a place, and we sat through this beautiful Jewish service, welcoming in the Sabbath, and thanking God for the rest and miracles that He has done for all of our lives. It was very positive, uplifting. It was good. And at the end of the service, the room was filled with hundreds of people. The rabbi said, before you folk leave, I want you to know that there is a rabbi by the name of Pastor Mike Ortel here in the group. And my wife told me that he and his family and his friends would be here. I'd like to have them stand up. So would Rabbi Ortel stand up? Well, I'm not a rabbi, but to him I was a rabbi. And so I stood up and he said, now wave to everybody and all that kind of stuff. And so I did. So then when it was over with, I tried to make a beeline right up to meet to the guy, because I really wanted to meet him. So as I was walking up, I did not know there were other people in that group that were Christians, and they were Sabbath-keeping Christians. And so they went and talked to my wife and the other folk that were with us. And as they were talking, I was up there talking to Rabbi and had a wonderful time, and I came back and there was this group still around when everybody else was leaving, and the couple from Maine had some friends, some people from Australia, and he has relatives in Australia, and they knew them. And a bonding took place so quickly. But how God wanted them to meet each other, because from that thing on, all of a sudden these people in Australia became our friends, and we learned of their ministry of helping people. And I'd love sometime to tell the story of this ministry they're doing for people who only live on the dump. Can you imagine? That's where they have their school. They have nothing at all. But they eat out of the dump and they sleep on the dump. But as a result, we learned about this ministry and met other Sabbath-keeping, beautiful people. But I am saying this book tells us something kind of nice, didn't it? It said, set the Lord always before you, because he's at your right hand, and you shall not be moved. And your heart will be glad, and you will rejoice. Now going to my wife's verse, it says, verse 11 of 16, you, God, will show me the path of life, and in your presence is the fullness of joy, and at your right hand are pleasures evermore. That trip took on more joy and pleasures because of God leading through various ways to have us meet people from the other side of the world. And we were enriched to this day to become our closest friends. So I want you to know God's got a plan for your life. And if you just turn it over to him, he will guide you and lead you and bless you. And at the end of the day, you say, Lord, I don't believe all the miracles that took place today. I never planned them. And you'll go to bed with great joy and pleasures because you had set the Lord before you all day long. Have a good